the right one on right
We
there.
got to
That's
get
got the
past
right
Dak.
one
We
on.
got to get past Dak. If Dak is the growing pain, then that's what we got to do. But
Yeah.
that's another time and story, man. What time is it, man?
Right,
What we
let's
looking
get
at, man?
started. Yeah, let's get started.
Man. Well, guys, man, look, man, we really want to thank you guys for being here. We are the Laboratory of Redemption. This is what we are, man. And for me personally, the Laboratory of Redemption, man. For me, redemption means to me, man, I get to make up for some missteps. You know, I had some missteps in my life, man, where I should have went right, but I went left. I said some stuff that I shouldn't have said. I didn't put back some money that I had, that I didn't put back. So this for me is an opportunity to make up for those missteps. So that redemption for me, man. So I ask you to find out what's your redemption. Are you redeeming anything? Some people are here for a different form of redemption. Some people want to redeem their hard work for something. This is also a form of redemption. You put in what you get out. You put in some hard work, you get out what you put in. So this is another form of redeeming something. And so that's what we are here for. This is the Laboratory of Redemption, man. So we glad you guys are here to join us. We're going to grow and get bigger and bigger. One of the reasons, one of the goals that we are here, we're here to help the new adjuster. We want to help the new adjuster get started, to provide direction.
Asking me
If
to
you could
provide
please mute
direction.
yourself, please. Everyone else, if you could
Yes.
please mute yourself, please. Go ahead, Meech. Sorry.
Absolutely. No problem, man. Our goal is to help the new adjuster, to help the new person that's getting involved, to provide a sense of guidance and help, and to be a resource, and to encourage the adjuster that's been out there for a while. So we just want to, get this community started and build this community, help on those principles. To help the young guys, to be a resource for the older guys who's been around, and to be able to change the trajectory of our lives as they go right now. A little bit about myself. I've been in the game since about 2018. I took a little bit of time off in 2019. I've been back in it since about 2019 in the inside. I've been working, property. I've been doing file review. I've been doing some different things that's gotten inside, man. In 2023, I decided to go back out into the field. It was definitely one of the best decisions of my life. So I've gone out and not only just for me, myself, being out, having the opportunity to be in the field, to make some good money, but to meet some incredible people in my journey, and to build these relationships. One of the people that I've been fortunate enough to start this journey with in January in my South Carolina journey back in the field is Miss Janae. Miss Janae was great to meet, and we instantly hit it off. And it was a pleasure working with her out there. And so since then, she's had some wonderful experiences. So, Mrs. Janae, do you mind sharing some of those experiences with us as we go? Can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Sorry about
There
that.
we go. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Michi. A little bit about me. I started in January, like Meech said, in South Carolina. I had no background or no experience in adjusting or construction in general. So I just, took the chance on it. And like Meech said, it was literally the best choice of my life so far. And I can't complain right now. I am deployed in Chicago. I've been here for a little over a month now, and my manager has pretty much told me you can stay here for as long as you want to. Just give me a heads up when you're going to get burnt out and you feel like you need a break. So
like it's literally like
yeah,
if you want to stay here for a year, you can be here for
yeah,
a year. You could be here for a year and a half, not like till next month or something. She got the ticket for that. And that's money to work consistently for the next year. Like that's and then take off.
What kind of money?
Stuff when you need
what
to.
kind of money though? What kind of money? You're saying money, right? What kind of money? It's because that's
our
ambiguous.
goal
I use a
100K a month.
SAT word.
We 100K We
Our
are
goal
in,
is the
in the
100K
opportunity
club.
to meet 100K a month, 100K club, and that's it. She has the
That's the
opportunity to
goal.
make that time and time and time and time again. But she got in, she paid attention, she applied what they taught her, and it is as simple as that. She didn't come in with no previous knowledge of what a roof, what the parts of a roof is, what it took to build a
Right.
roof, any of
Never
that.
been on a
But
roof.
she
Right.
listened, she applied, and now she has at her discretion when she wants to stop making so much money and take a break because she's making a lot of money. They gave her the opportunity for that 6 months in. This doesn't have to
Right.
be years and years and years. 6 months in, 8 months in. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm
Right.
sorry. But go
No,
ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
you're fine. No, you're fine. And just really quick before we get into the adjuster spotlight this week, I just wanted to remind everyone, we have a form that I believe Major's going to send in the chat. Please, please, please fill that out. That form is basically a chance for us to send out weekly reminders of the meetings, the upcoming meetings, who we have speaking. We want to send out like weekly resources to everyone, future trainings, things like that. So please fill that out so we can get your information so that you don't miss those opportunities that we have coming up in the future. What else? Also, please send any questions that you have. If you don't want to speak out loud to ask any questions, please send it in the chat. Somebody will get to it today in the chat. We have a great speaker coming up later, but I'm not going to get into her just yet. First off, I wanna invite Mr. Javon Gardner to speak. He's our Adjuster Spotlight. Javon, are you there with us today?
Yep, I'm in here. Yep.
Okay, great. So
Javon,
if you can just introduce yourself a little bit. Let us know how you guys started in adjusting, how long you've been adjusting for, just all of that good stuff. Of course, if you can drop the money, that will also be helpful for the new people here, just so they can understand that like you can start in a quick way and still end up making really good money your first year out. So please, Javon.
All right.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Javon. I'm 22. I've had my adjuster license for just over 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So been in it a little bit. Haven't been out as quite as much long as I wanted to, but it's going up now. I think I asked my uncle Travis about it a while ago, and like 5 months in Wisconsin on my first deployment. So
wait, how old were you on your first deployment?
19. Yep, 19.
You said 19?
Yeah.
Wow, you might be the youngest adjuster I've spoken to.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. How did your first deployment come about?
I had got onto QA's roster, and I got signed on Wind and Hail out there. So, yeah.
Where?
In Waupun, Wisconsin. Yeah.
In Wisconsin. Oh, wow. So how was that? How long were you out there for?
Gone for 3 weeks, but
that's usually about the time the rookies are out there, just like myself included.
Everybody, yep.
Yeah, I wasn't going that long at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this:
did you make any money?
Let me ask you this: how many rosters were you on? Were you on a lot of different rosters, or was that like the only roster you were on, or what would you recommend as far as starting out for new people? Like, what would you recommend as far as getting on rosters?
I would say about minimum like 10, I guess. But there's some that you would like to get on first out, so yeah, you gotta
so in Wisconsin, were you hourly or were you component? Like, how did you start?
Hourly at the moment, yeah. I was hourly. I think I made 15 the whole time I was going. So
for 3 weeks.
What? 15 what?
$15,000 for 3 weeks. It was $5,000 a week. So
woo!
Oh, wow. So
that's
paid
20 grand
training.
a month. That's 20 grand a month.
Essentially for paid training.
Yeah.
Man.
That's very good. So let me ask you, like, I don't know how your start was. Was it like, because a lot of us started, where it was rough, where we didn't have too many people on our side to chat with or ask questions to. How was that experience for you, being that was your first deployment? Like, did you have background in construction or in this field?
Oh no, I'm 22. I was fresh,
right?
brand new. panicking, the typical. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I felt like I didn't belong, but now it kind of paid off. So.
Right. So how much longer after your first deployment did you get deployed again?
I got deployed like it was like a month later. I got sent to Louisiana for Hurricane Ida.
Oh wow. And you were out there for a while?
There for probably like a month or two, honestly.
I got you. No, that's not bad though. That's not bad.
It's all experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up really quick, let me just ask, like, how could this community, like, how could excuse me, I'm so sorry. How could it have affected you or benefited you, like having a community like this in the beginning? Would it have?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Really with the mental, honestly, believing that you actually can do it. When you're new, you're just you. I had my Uncle Travis, but he's not there physically with you. So it's like you're by yourself. So.
And that's a good guy to have, if anyone.
Can I ask Devon a question?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What's up, brother? This is MJ. Quick question. So when you make mention of 15K in 3 weeks, what did that workload actually look like as a new adjuster? Like how many claims were you actually doing in a day's time?
In a day's time, when I first started, I was only doing 2 a day, honestly. That's
the requirement.
When I first started, I did 1 a day for about the first 5 days. And then I slowly started doing 2 a day and seeing how many I can close within that week. But I definitely started slow. My manager actually really encouraged me to start slow because the biggest thing about adjusting, especially when you're new, the biggest worry is about getting in a hole. You don't want to get in a hole. When you're in a hole, everything is overwhelming. You're just like, I don't know where to go, where to start, who to go to first, what to close. Like, it can be very, very frustrating and overwhelming. So I started very slow. And like Javon said, most of us, we stay there for about 3 to 4 weeks. If you're lucky, and you're doing a really good job, of course, you could stay longer if it's a lot of work to get done. But that's usually when they start cutting people. And of course, unfortunately, the rookies are the first ones to, sort of get cut there. Do we have any other questions?
Hey, Javon, quick question for you, man. Quick question, Javon. How much you make last week?
Last week, I made $15,000.
For the week, right?
Wait, where are you deployed right now?
Right now, I'm in Dayton, Ohio, doing some winning claims. So
okay, hold on. Let's not brush past that.
Right.
You made 15,000 last week, right?
Yeah, just this last Friday.
Let's stick to that. Let's put a bullet point in that. You made such and such prior to that. How many of them for a few thousand, whatever? But last week long, you made 15,000, right?
Right. And he's 22.
So
he's been doing this for 3 years now.
So basically, you've been seeing your money sort of go up gradually, right? And it's just going up. The more that you educate yourself, and the more that you know, the more that you learn about writing claims and estimates and all of that is just going up faster and faster, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Would you say that?
So yeah.
So I say that to say MJ
100K this month. 100K this month.
100K.
Yeah, Javon, 100K this month.
So, but MJ, to sort of address something that you were saying, like what's his workload, and to get that 15,000, like what Janae was saying, you start off at a claim a week. That's what they encourage you to do. I mean, not a week, a claim a day. 1 claim a day. When you get it comfortable enough, it's 2. So you can go to about 7 to 10, 15 claims a week. But you're starting out at about 7 to 10 claims a week. Yep. MJ, to get that, and you don't have to get that. If you're starting out, if you show initiative, if you show drive, if you show that you want to learn, you can close freaking 5 claims, 3 claims that week. But if you're better the 8th day than you were the 3rd day, they'll keep you around because of your attitude and everything. So you don't really get paid on the amount workload, starting out when you're on hourly, basically.
You're
getting paid for your initiative. It's paid training. You're getting paid for your initiative, for your drive, for you going to the war room at 7:30 in the morning, not 1 o'clock. Not those times. Somebody knows who I'm speaking with. But you show that initiative, you show that, and you get paid on that. Exactly for your workload. And next go around, you start getting paid attention when you go into component, then it's based more on your workload, of course. But starting out and then in training, if you get in there and you show initiative, you wake your butt up, you do the work, you'll get paid. You'll get
How long
paid.
is training?
So
How often is training?
Every day.
Yeah.
As long as you need it. Training is as long as you need it. When you're ready to fly, they'll let you go. But there's always somebody, whether it be an actual physical war room, a virtual war room, whether there be managers, AVMs, IACCs that you can contact for help. There's always somebody that you can, because as good as Travis is, he still runs into things that he needs help with. There's always going to be that. There's always people there that can help you with that. So that's not, jump in, do the work. You'll find people that help you out along the way. It's so much that you're always going to be learning. These systems change, these rules change. The things change from state to state. From state to state, it changes. So you're always
everything is constantly updating.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be the only constant that you have, actually, that things are going to be changing. So get used to that. But other than that, you come in with the willingness and eagerness to learn and take this job and do that, you'll be good. You'll be totally fine. Javon, is there anything else that you wanted to add before we move on?
No, I think that's it. I think that's all I got.
Man,
well, thank you, Javon.
Man. We appreciate that, man. As you can see, man, that man, all of this stuff, man, for the new people, man, that are just starting, and encourages people, man. We really do appreciate you guys for speaking to that. But today, man, all of you guys are here, are really in for a treat. I mean, I want you to grab your pens and your paper, and I mean, this is for you guys who are already in it, who have things to do, who want to repair your credits, things like that. So we have the pleasure tonight to be in the presence of a Miss Eva Palacios. She's an expert in what she does, and again, I will allow her to explain all of that and what she does. So, guys, would you please welcome Miss Eva Palacios to the forum and
to help us tie in preparedness.
Yes, preparedness. She is going to speak about being prepared for not just adjusting.
Because trust me, I wish I had a credit card in January. I would have saved a lot of money if I would have been prepared that way.
850 credit is a goal. Having 850 credit teach you how to get there, the things that you need to be prepared. Again, not just for adjusting, but for life. And again, guys, I want to encourage, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, even about last week, about deployment, things about this week, about preparedness. We'll let you guys know about what next week is going to be about. But if you have any things that, you want to talk about, any questions that, may not want to ask now, drop them in the chat. We'll make sure to get to you. But for right now, I want to make sure that we welcome Miss Eva Palacios. Please, ma'am, the floor is yours. And thank you so much
guys?
For being here.
Hey.
Awesome. Hello.
Hey. How is everybody doing tonight? I'm like, this is my room. All of y'all making money. I'm like, let's make sure the money is going in the right places and the money is making more money while we're working. Oh man. Do me a favor, guys. Yes, definitely prepare, take some notes. I'm going to be dropping so much golden nuggets, but I only got 30 minutes. So definitely write your questions in the chat. I'll try to address them if time permits at the end. Otherwise, Travis is dropping my discovery call link. So if you do want to meet with me personally, just to kind of see how I can best guide you or assist you in your financial journey, definitely fill that out as well. Great. I do see I have the ability to share my screen. So let me go ahead and get that shared. Perfect. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right, great. Well, first and foremost, thank you, Travis, and to the entire squad for allowing me to pour into you. My name is Eva Palacios. I reside in Stockton, California, which is Northern California. Everybody hears California and they assume Southern LA area. No, I'm near San Francisco where the fog resides. So a little bit about me. I have been in the financial industry space for over 25 plus years. I specialize in credit education. So what this means is I'm super passionate about not only giving you the tools and information and education on how to raise your credit scores, but the importance behind building your credit with intention and with strategy, right? Because there's so much information out there in the world that tells you do this, don't do this, do this, and then you do it and it backfires, or you do it and you don't see results. Do me a favor, drop in the chat below if you followed advice on the internet and it just didn't work. Or better yet, you paid somebody to do some stuff and it just didn't turn out how you had hoped it would turn out. So my purpose, my walk in life is to give you this information so that when I'm no longer here, you are more informed, more educated in not only learning and doing it for yourself, but so that you can be able to share it with your friends and your family. So a little bit about me. Yes, 25 plus years in the industry. Most importantly, I turned entrepreneur in 2013. This was because after 17 years working at a credit counseling company, learning all things about money, credit, investing, finances, the laws, the consumer laws, the creditor laws, all of that stuff, my company goes through a merger and they got rid of top level paid employees, and I was one of them. But I strongly believe this was just God's way of saying, Eva, you were too comfortable in that job. I need you to take all that information and use it and pour it into the world with the factual information, things that will actually get people to move and actually see results. So fast forward time, 2020, I attended Extreme Execution, hosted by our very own Eric Thomas, my number one mentor. I'm pretty sure he's a lot of mentors and a lot of people on this call. My number one mentor. I attended that elite training in 2020 and it completely changed my life. And this is where Empower You was created during the pandemic. So yes, I am the CEO and founder of Empower You Financial, where I teach you how to live life on your own terms through financial literacy and credit education. So with that being said, guys, you can Google my name. I'm on all the platforms, Eva Empowers. I have a podcast. I'm on YouTube. I give away so much golden nuggets. Just set your notifications on, and I promise you, you're going to learn some stuff just by following me on social media. But tonight, we're going to talk about strategy, guys, because just like what Janaea said, she said, I wish I had a credit card when I first started. Now, some of you, depending upon how you were raised, raise your hands, drop in the comments below if you were never taught about money. You weren't taught about money, credit, finances. As a matter of fact, you probably were taught, do not get credit cards because the credit cards are evil. Well, guess what? We're here to learn differently today, because I promise you, you can have zero money in the bank, but if you have 800, 700, 800 plus scores, you can have six-figure available credit limits and moves without having money in the bank. So let's go ahead and talk about that, guys.
Come on now.
First and foremost, you got to know where to get your credit reports from. I highly encourage you to go to Experian.com. You can have a free Experian account where you get one credit report, one FICO score every single month. Now, you can sign up for a free trial where you get all three of your reports and FICO scores for free. It only lasts 7 days. Some people get 30 days. But what's most important is just sign up so you can look at all three of your reports and scores to see where you're at. And then Once you get all those reports, downgrade the service so you don't have to worry about paying $30 every single month to see the stuff. Just take a picture of what you've got going on now, and we keep it moving. That is a tip, because at the end of the day, you don't need to be paying for a service that in essence, you're not going to really use unless you need help with the credit, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Experian is the only free resource where you can get all 3 of your reports with FICO scores. The other free resource is annualcreditreport.com, but you do not get free scores. It is just your report. Now you're probably wondering, okay, wait a minute, Eva, hold on. Let's talk about the scores. Yes, let's talk about it. Because you have other free services like Credit Karma that gives you a credit score. But guess what, guys? That's not a FICO score. So let's talk about it. FICO, Fair Isaac and Company, is the company that created the credit score. The FICO score is the score that lenders use. So when you're applying for credit, the home loan, the car loan, the credit cards, the whatever, you need to be sure you're looking at the right information. Credit Karma gives you a Vantage score. That score, look, FICO ranges from 300 to 850. Credit Karma, and even for those of you who have bank accounts or credit cards that gives you your free score, look at the fine print, guys, because if they're giving you a Vantage score, that score ranges from 400 to 950. It is 100 points off. So if you're not looking at the right data and you go to apply for credit and you're getting turned down, this is most likely why. You're not looking at apples to apples. So it's super important to know where to get your FICO score from and where to really pay attention to so that you know how to move forward. Now, I will say this. Just because you have a high credit score doesn't mean you're going to get approved for everything. So let me break it down. FICO score ranges from 300 to 850. Good credit starts at a 620. Excellent credit starts at a 700. Now, for those overachievers who want that 850, I get it. But know that when you're between 700 and 850, you are considered excellent credit. However, it really also depends on your credit portfolio. And this is where I specialize. Ain't nobody on the internet teaching anybody about building a credit portfolio. And what that means, guys, is not only making sure you've got a high credit score, but what is actually on your credit report. So let me put it in this way. We go to school, we get good grades. Those grades appear on a transcript. The transcript allows you to get into college, right? But depending on the levels of classes, what types of classes, did you just take, basic English and math? Or did you take trigonometry, AP classes, honors classes? Because that is how you get into the universities, right? Same when it comes to your credit report. You can have department store cards and be a 700 plus score. But depending upon what your goals are, depending upon what financial needs you've got, if you want to, yes, buy the home, purchase the home, maybe you want to start building business credit. Maybe you want to invest in real estate. Maybe you want to do the bigger and better things that require you to look a certain way on paper. This is where we need to get the right information and build your credit in a certain way so that you are desired by these banks. So why is this important, guys? Well, first and foremost, now let me, drop in the chat if anybody has ever had accounts with Credit One, First Premier, Fingerhut, maybe some secured credit cards. And if you had those accounts, have you ever tried calling their customer service department? And if you did, do you remember how long you were on hold for, or maybe the level of customer service engagement you got? See, when we're dealing with the bottom of the barrel type credit, you're not receiving the best levels of service. So I'm teaching people how to build credit with intention and how to be attractive to the bigger banks. Why? So that you can get better customer service, so that you can get 0% interest. Has anybody ever taken advantage of 0% interest? Put in the chat below 0% interest. This is where I teach people how to borrow 0% interest on credit cards to take that money and invest it in businesses, in real estate, or in different things to where you can make money on other people's money for free. But we'll get into that later. They also provide hardship programs. If you're ever in need to where life hits, and maybe you just don't have income, or there's a sickness or injury or something to where you can't make these payments, only the top banks are going to provide you with the right assistance that'll help you during that financial hardship. Now, what about this? Have you ever had an account that closed out because you didn't use them? They call it inactivity. No, guys, we need to get better at building the right relationships with the right banks so that we can have these accounts open for 10, 20, 30, 40 plus years, therefore giving us a strong credit portfolio. Now, how do we even begin with getting these types of accounts? Guys, first and foremost, we got to know, number one, what is our credit score looking like today? Now, the world will tell you, make sure you make all of your payments on time, which, yes, that is very important. Payment history is worth 35% of your score, but we want to make sure out of everything that's on your credit report, the last two most recent years are the most important. So today, back 24 months, how is your payment history looking? Because yes, the credit law says if you're late 30 days or more, yes, it can affect your credit score. And yes, it can sit for 7 years. And yes, that sounds scary, but what's most important is making sure the last 2 years of your payment history is super duper clean. Because like I said, you can have a high credit score, but if you've got any late payments in the last 24 months, you're going to get denied from these bigger banks. The 0% interest offers, the credit cards that give you cash back, free flights, free hotel stays. Again, super important to make sure your credit report looks good. So tip number one, guys, focus on what's been happening on the last 2 years of your credit reports. If there are any unpaid negative items, anything in collections, anything that's charged off, credit score doesn't care how old that account is. It doesn't even care how much it is. You can have a $35 cable bill from 5 years ago, but because it's an unpaid negative item, it is weighing down your credit score and it's a roadblock preventing you from getting the better accounts. So we need to be able to resolve that. Now, if you foresee a hardship coming along to where you don't think you're going to make your payment, definitely call your creditors ahead of time. Because if you've always been on time and you fall late 30 days, that can easily drop your credit score 75 to 50 to 100 points, guys. Payment history is important. And especially if you've always paid on time, one late payment can do severe damage. But most importantly, guys, don't pay credit repair services to get items or late payments deleted off of your credit reports, because number one, chances are they're not going to be successful. And number two, they may be able to delete account or delete late payments that are older than 2 years, but really you're spending money on something that's not even going to help your credit score. Why? Because I just said late payments only matter if they happen in the last 2 years. So we need to be wise with number one, getting the right information, but number two, whoever you're planning to pay to get these things resolved, you need to have this information, because you could be in essence paying for something that isn't going to impact your credit score. Now, moving on, the second piece that is a huge factor with your credit scores, guy, which people don't even think about, is your utilization. This means for those of you who do have credit cards, anything that has a limit, credit card, store card, line of credit, anything that has a limit, you need to look at. And most importantly, the world is going to tell you, if you're close to your limits, your score drops. Yes, that is fact. If your balances are under 30%, don't worry about it. Your credit score is okay. That's false. Guys, in order to not lose any points whatsoever, balances on credit cards or any revolving accounts need to be under 10% in use. Now, for those of you who have credit cards with very little limits, this is where many of us get in trouble. If you only have a $500 limit or a $1,000 limit, that means your balance can only be $50 to $100. And I don't know about you, but gas, groceries, sometimes the lunch, it supersedes that. So we need to be mindful with how we're using our credit cards and making sure we're paying them off every single month in full. I say this because other people on the internet, they're telling people, no, you need to keep balances, because every time you make a payment, that's what raises credit scores. No, guys, that's false. Who's telling people to do this? The banks. The banks want you to leave balances. Why? So they can make money and interest. And I don't know, you might forget to pay them, and now they're making money on late fees. So if anybody has ever told you leave a balance so that you can build your credit, that is false. Here's what feeds into the credit score. As long as the account is open, and as long as it's not late, every single month, it's going to report zero balance, pays as agreed, and that is the bulk of where your credit score comes from, guys. So again, we got to get rid of the fluff and focus on the facts, especially if you are planning to borrow or do things credit-wise. Why is that important? Because yes, the higher the credit score, the better the accounts, and the lower the interest rates or the 0% rates that you can get. So we want to be able to make sure that we're building credit in a certain way by having the right banks and the right accounts and using them wisely. Now, depending upon where you're at in your credit journey, in your financial journey, sometimes we do have to start with the credit builder cards or the secured credit cards, but you don't always have to start there. This is where you need an expert to look at your credit reports, because the world is going to tell you, get this credit card, start with the secured card. But sometimes those secured cards and credit builder cards, they don't report to your credit reports until 6 to 12 months after the fact that you've opened them. So now you're thinking you're building credit, but because you don't have the right account, you're not going to see anything until far way later. So we need to focus on building credit with the right banks in the right way so that you can really see your credit score move. Now, to kind of wrap things up, what are you talking about, Eva? What do you mean? Like, I have these types of accounts, but they're not really fueling or making my credit score move? Correct. Because what people don't realize is the credit score, it is a mathematical formula. It knows every account that is on your credit report. Credit cards give you more points than personal loans. They give you more points than auto loans. They give you more points than mortgage loans. So with that said, you need to know which credit cards are the right credit cards to get so that you can really see your score move. And this is where there are 4 levels of credit cards, guys. So let's start at the very bottom. Yes, level 1, secured cards and credit builder cards. Like I said, some can report as early as 6 months, but majority, it takes 9 to 12 months before they actually contribute to your credit score. Level 2 credit cards, department store cards. These work a little bit faster than the secured and the credit builders, but guess what? Between level 1 and level 2, these are cards that, number 1, they'll close you out due to inactivity if they've gone more than 6 months without being used. They charge you really high interest rates, and some of them charge you monthly service fees. So now you're paying to build credit, but 9 times out of 10, you don't even have to start here. Some cases you do, most cases you don't. Level 3, banks and credit unions. In essence, this is where you want to start, but you can't really start here unless you have at least a 640 to a 680 credit score. So yes, guys, it's all a mathematical formula. But level 4, this is where you want to live. This is where if you do have credit scores that are 680 and above, and your credit portfolio looks a certain way, you can start on this level, which I call them the Fab 5 banks. You're going to want to write these down. The Fab 5 banks, these are the top banks you want to have on your credit report at some point in your life. And when you do, you can be able to leverage credit. We're talking about the 0% rates, the cashback, the free flights, the free hotel stays, the building the business credit, the leveraging to be able to make investment moves. Put it this way, guys. I don't have money in the bank. My money is in bricks. My money is in businesses. If an emergency happens, guess what? I got 26 credit cards. My overall available credit limit is $275,000, not including the American Express Platinum that has no limit. If an emergency happens, I have 26 different tools to choose from. And because I've built my credit in this way, I can max out 5 credit cards and my credit score will still be in the 700s. This is the information that you need. So when life hits, you have easy access to other people's money. When life hits, if it so happens to hit on a Saturday night, you can't go to the bank on Sunday. You go to the bank on Monday, you're in lines. Not only that, you got to wait for underwriting to approve the loan. Credit cards are the only tool you can have immediate access to. Who are the Fab 5 banks? American Express, Chase, Citibank, Bank of America, and Discover. These are the top 5 banks on purpose. You want to start building relationships with. If you do not have, you need these guys on your credit report so that you can get into the 800s, so that you can be able to have what all the other guys have. This information is crucial. Now, you can't just go out and apply like crazy. It's strategy, because remember how I said, it not only takes a high credit score, it takes a certain portfolio build. And this is where I come in, guys. I am known as the credit coach. I specialize in looking at your financial situation, asking you what your goals are, looking at your credit report, and helping you create a game plan to help you get to those financial goals faster. Because I don't know about you, when was the last time you didn't use GPS to take a road trip or to go to the next city on wherever you got to go view a property at? When was the last time you didn't use a GPS? If you're using a GPS to get you to your next destination while on the road, you should be having a GPS system to help you get towards financial freedom. So with that being said, guys, I don't know how much time I have left because I don't have a clock on my computer, but if we do have room for questions, whoever is the moderator, let me know. I can answer those questions, but most importantly, book your discovery call. My website is evaempowers.com. I do one-on-one credit sessions. I also have a 12-month coaching program to not only help you level up your credit, help you build that credit portfolio, but most importantly, help you really understand how credit works, how to leverage it. Most importantly, talk to you about financial goals. You're making all this money. Is the money being placed in the right types of accounts that's going to allow that money to duplicate? Because we're all going to get old one day. And when we do, we're not going to be able to work the same way as we were in our younger days. So what are we doing to make our money make more money and plan for that financial future so that you can take time off and be wherever your little heart desires? But because you're educated, you're more informed, and your money is making more money, I promise you, life looks a whole lot more sweeter when that happens.
Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you.
Man, man, that was awesome. Man, look, I don't know, man. Y'all need to tell a friend or something. But if they wasn't here tonight, man, they really missed out. Like that was really awesome, man. Eva, I'm definitely going to be getting in contact with you because I want you to work on my stuff. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel after listening to you, I know for a fact that I can get there with your help. Like, no doubt in my mind. I feel, man, that was awesome, Eva. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I know we have some questions. We have some questions in the chat.
I have a question. I also have a question. I know you mentioned I'm just curious. I know you mentioned something about like if you're going to be late with the payment to kind of reach out to your creditor. Like, does that actually help? Like, do they want to hear like, hey, I'm going to be a little late this month? Like, that's actually helpful?
So it depends, right? You know, if we're talking about the credit builder guys, they don't care about you. Like, I'm going to be real.
Right.
But if we're talking about those Fab Fives, not only do they care to know, you want to be able to address the situation and nip it in the bud because they can notate the account and prevent that late from hitting your credit report. Not only that, people like Citibank, Chase, and American Express, especially if you had great payment history for the last 1 year, 2 years, or however long, if you've always been on time with them, they will do a courtesy removal of a late payment for you.
Oh, wow.
So yes, so on purpose, and I know somewhere in the chat, it was asked, so do we just use like one of the Fab Fives or do we use them all? Eventually, we want all the Fab Fives on the credit report. As to whether or not you use them, that's a different story. I teach you how to use them strategically to build relationships so that you can get the higher limits, right? Because if you're building credit, it's practice. They're going to give you $1,000. You're going to use it. You're going to pay it down. And they see good behavior. They'll raise your limit. They'll keep raising it. And now, because you're taught different, and you're a good credit user, you can end up with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in available credit. Doesn't mean you have to use it all, but in case life hits, you have it at your fingertips.
Right.
I have a question.
Also, hey, I have a quick question. I know there was a question in the chat. I'm sorry. Did you want to go ahead? Go ahead, Janae. Go ahead.
No, someone else had spoken up. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Yes,
you're fine.
Please.
So, Eva, I know you mentioned recommending not using any credit repairing companies, but I used to work for a credit repairing company called Lexington Law, and they did help. They did help a lot. So, do you think it's better to go at the creditors on your own versus trying to use those companies?
So it does depend on what the financial situation is and whether or not that company or tool is going to work in your best interest. So for example, Lexington Law, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Lexington Law is a debt settlement company. So if you have unpaid negative items that have been sitting in collections, and you just don't want to make the phone calls to negotiate these balances on your own, absolutely somebody is more than willing to take your money to do the work for you. But the question is, can I do that on my own, and will I get the same results? Absolutely. Absolutely. Not only are you saving yourself money from paying the company, but if you have the right coaching on what to say, who to call, what time of the month to call, where should my negotiating balance be? Hence, this is where I come in. You can get greater results in faster time, because here's what happens. You make a payment every single month to the debt settlement company. They hold on to your money on purpose. They hold on to the first couple of payments to pay themselves first, and then wait till your money accumulates before making that first phone call. What if it takes months? What if it takes years and you're trying to make moves? How are you going to make moves when you still got all these unpaid negatives on your credit report? There's no way. Chances are, with the right coaching, which I have coached a lot of my students on how to properly do so. As a matter of fact, one of my episodes on my Empower You Financial podcast, I think episode 120, 121, I talk about how to make this happen. But yes, not to say that they don't work. It really depends on where you're at in your financial journey and what your goals are.
Kind of paying a middleman in a way.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Luckily, I didn't have to pay them. It was for free because I work for them. It was free because I work for them. But yeah, thank you.
Right.
Absolutely.
Man, okay. So I know we had another question in there in the chat. Let me see here. I know Mr. Who is that? Oh yeah, Mr. Nigel. I'm sorry. He wanted to know if you can get late payments removed off of your credit report.
Excellent question. Can you get late payments removed off of your credit report? It depends on a couple of factors. Number one, who is the bank? Number two, how long ago did the late payment occur? But most importantly, if you got the top 5 banks, those Fab 5 that I mentioned, if the late payment has occurred in the last 12 months, you can call them and ask for a one-time courtesy removal of the 30-day late or 60-day late, whenever it happened. Ask them and they'll remove it. Number one. Number two, if it's a late payment from the not so good type credit cards and the account is still open, chances are they won't remove it. They may remove it if you rebuild your payment history with them, but they may not. But what's most important is if there are late payments that are older than 2 years, don't worry about it, guys. Yes, you're fixated because you can see it on your credit report, but the credit score is not affected if the late payments are older than 2 years. So in essence, you're worried about something because you see it, but it's not even factoring into your credit score. So don't even worry about it.
That's good information.
Yeah,
That's really good information.
I had a credit card once in college and of course, completely trashed it. And I didn't know about that 7-year thing. So I personally haven't even tried to get a credit card in years because I just know that my credit is jacked, you know?
No.
And then recently I went to go get a car and I told them like, my credit is terrible. Just treat me as if my credit is very, very poor.
No.
And then they told me about Experian and then they ran my credit and it was 681. So I was like, oh, wow, I could try to get a credit card now, a decent credit card. So I'm going to look into Chase. Hopefully they accept me, but I got to worry about that. Like you said, the credit portfolio. So that's, you know.
I highly encourage at the very least book a 1-hour consultation with me because I promise you, there are, you just said it. Because of what happened in the past, because of bad past experiences or trauma or lack of information, that is preventing us from moving forward. Furthermore, like, let's be real. My best friend, I just threw it on my Instagram yesterday. My best friend has a 720 plus credit score. She went in and she already knows the game, but she went into the dealership and they were trying to give her a 14% rate. Now she knows better. She called me on speaker and she's like, BF, they're trying to give me a 14% rate. Like, is that today's rate? And I'm like, absolutely not. You better walk out and get pre-qualified from your credit union. Whoever is trying to let you borrow money, they're always going to want to make money. This is my job where I educate you guys so that you can walk in confidence.
Yes, most
You
importantly.
know your worth and you're not getting taken advantage of.
Man, hey man, I hope you guys realize the opportunity that you have in front of you to speak with a professional. You know, there's somebody that can help you out like that. And I know some of you guys really do. I have a couple of questions left for you, Ms. Palacios. If you have the time, we do have a couple of questions. We're going to be wrapping things up, but there are a couple of questions in the chat I want to ask and make sure that they get. One is from MJ. MJ wants to ask, is it more difficult to get approved for the business credit cards?
That's a good one.
It depends. You can get business credit. The question is what type of business do you have? And is the type of business credit that you're looking to obtain actually going to help you build your business? For example, the world will tell you, go out and get the net 30s, the net 45s, the vendor accounts, the Uline, the gas cards. But is that really going to help you build your business? I teach you how to build your personal credit with intention so that we can bridge from personal into business with getting the Chase, the American Express, the Bank of America that give you 5, 10, 15, 20,000 in available credit. Because the credit cards that are universal, the Visas, the MasterCards, the American Express, those are the types of tools that you need to build your business. Not just that, a vendor account isn't going to let you borrow money at 0%. If you have the right structured business with the right credit coach, I can teach you how to build business credit and get 0% interest for the next 12, 18, or 24 months. And your payments will be minimal. So for somebody who's starting out building the business that hasn't really generated the revenue, this is important. We don't want to be borrowing money on high interest with funky accounts. We want to build with intention.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Please drop Ms. Palacios link in there. If you need to get in contact with her to speak to some things afterwards, man, please reach out to her. I have one more question. Tanisha has the questions in here. We're going to be wrapping things up after that, guys. Again, the link is in the chat, in the Discord. If you want to get in contact with Ms. Palacios, I know myself personally will be getting in contact with her. So I am going to be taking advantage of this wonderful opportunity that you have from attending today, man. I don't know if y'all don't see it, but I see it for a fact. Okay, last question. Miss Tanisha has a question. She wants to know, will they raise the credit limit even if you're not using very much of the credit available?
So it depends on who the bank is. If we're talking about the big major banks, yes. If we're talking about getting a brand new credit card and never using it, no. So there's a lot of factors that are involved. However, 9 times out of 10, when you are using credit cards strategically, they do monitor how long you've had your account open for, what your payment history is looking like, how often you're using the card, and most importantly, how quickly you are paying that balance off. When you use a credit card and you leave that balance on there for months, to be able to request for a credit limit increase, non-existent, not possible. Because they're looking at behaviors. They're looking to see how much money have we lent the person and how quickly are they paying it back. And if they're not paying it back, let's assume there's a hardship. Let's assume they're not educated. Let's assume they're living on their credit card. So no, I'm not going to let them borrow any more money. But if we're using it and paying it off at the end of the week or in full at the end of the month, you open an account, you do that, pay it off you can pay your credit cards every day if you wanted to, guys. Every day. You go charge. I mean, that's crazy, but if you can, you charge, go on your app, transfer the money from your bank account to the credit card, pay it off. I always say at the very least, pay it off every time you get a paycheck. But at the very least, pay it off in full every single month. You open up a brand new account, you use those types of habits, in 60 days, they'll raise your credit limit. One of my students literally opened an account 60 days ago. They gave her $5,000 and just, I don't know, like 2 days ago, they raised her from $5,000 to $18,000.
Wow.
And
Wow,
it's still
yeah,
4%. And it's a credit card that pays her flights or miles for flights.
Oh, that's exactly what I need.
I
All
haven't
right,
paid for a
so
vacation
I'm
in over
starting to
5
call you
years.
coach. Coach,
Like,
can
I
I
need
call you
that.
coach? I'm gonna just start calling you coach. Can I call you coach? Coach,
Yes.
all right, coach. I'm gonna be in contact, coach. I hope you guys are in contact with coach because that's coach for me. That's coach.
Yeah.
So anybody have anything? Janae, Travis,
I think there was one.
Toby.
Oh no,
Go ahead.
I think there was one last question. Are there any companies you recommend for business credit building other than Granger Uline?
I'm going to be real. I don't even build and I don't teach people to build with vendor accounts. I personally have 3 businesses. Not once have I ever used a vendor account. Not once have I gotten a gas card. All of my businesses have the Fab 5 accounts.
Okay.
Work
So
on getting that American Express.
Yeah, I couldn't even begin to tell you who the other vendor guys are, only because this is what I hear. But again, we got to get out of what is being fed to us on social media and really having somebody look at your business, how it's structured, making sure you're in compliance. That's key, guys. Here's a golden nugget. If you got a business,
right now,
address is a residential address, that's a red flag to the banks. That's a red flag. You're going to get turned down, or you're going to get very low limits. We need to be in compliance. What this means, it needs to be a commercial address. If you do not have a commercial business, then look for a virtual address. But before deciding what type of address to pay for, Google the address. Make sure the Google image looks like a commercial building, because if it looks like a P.O. box, you're going to get denied. Another thing that I teach people, how to build strategically in compliance so that you can get those available high limits with those credit cards.
I love that. Thank
Man,
you so much.
jewels. Those are
Thank
jewels.
you so much. Wow.
Jewels, man. All right, guys. Does anybody have anything? Travis, Toby, anybody want to offer anything before we get this thing wrapped up, guys?
Just another quick reminder about the form, just so that we can, get these weekly reminders out to you so you don't miss a great speaker like we had today. Miss Eva, thank you so much for coming out and speaking with us.
I have a question.
Yeah.
But I believe it was really answered because I guess it's old school too. It was told that you couldn't get an 850 credit score unless you own a house.
Nope.
I was told that years ago. I don't know if that's in effect, that you can never go all the way to 850 unless you own a house.
Now, I will say this, full transparency. I've been in the industry for over 25 plus years. The highest credit score that I've seen is an 843. I've never seen an 850. An 843, and the 843 person did not have a mortgage loan on their credit report. Yes, they had an auto loan, but they had the right banks on their credit report. Me personally, I've been as high as an 820. I don't have a mortgage loan in my name. My mortgage loan is in my business name. So,
okay, but you didn't go to 850. You haven't seen anybody with 850. That's just what I heard years ago. You can never reach 850 if you don't have a mortgage, because that's the highest or the longest debt that you'll ever have. And, that's what I heard.
Well, so let's talk about that, because a mortgage loan isn't the longest debt that you'll ever have. Mortgage loans can be paid off in 30 years. Credit cards are the only thing that can be open forever.
So that's like the most important way to build your credit, basically.
Credit cards are the most important way to build a credit report, because they're the only accounts that, if managed well, they can be opened up the longest. I have clients that have 40, 50-year-old credit cards. And again, do we want the 850, or would it be okay with an 843 and have no mortgage?
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'll take an 43. I'm good with that.
And just to let you know, the only product you need to have a 740 credit score. 740 is the highest score anybody ever needs to have in order to do a cash out home loan refinance or a home equity line of credit. Those are the only two products that require you to have a 740 credit score. Aside from that, if you want to strive for that 850, by all means, go for it. I can give you the blueprint to get to an 800, but nope, like,
right.
There you go.
Well, you already said 700 is excellent. So
it is. Yep.
That's my first goal. Trying to get to 700.
Yep.
Definitely.
Wow.
All right,
thank you so much. I'm gonna be getting in contact with you for sure, man.
Yes.
So thank you so much again for your time. Guys, we want to welcome everybody. Thank everybody again for attending this week, man. I want to invite you all, man, to extend the invitation out to you, your friends, to join us in the Laboratory of Redemption. This is what we do every week. This is an opportunity for redemption, man. And for any missteps, anything, whatever your definition of redemption is for you, this is an opportunity to do that. And we want you to join us here weekly. We have many opportunities. Oh my God. Like
we mentioned, other free resources in the future too.
Yes, absolutely, man. And this is just a wonderful opportunity. Again, so if you joined us, it was great. So please know that next week we're going to be here again, same time, same back channel, but we're going to be speaking about conviction. Conviction is oh my God, in life, in this career, to be convicted of the conviction of anything, it will help you move forward. To have that conviction will
especially
help
in
you,
decision making.
man,
especially in this job with decision making, you got to have strong conviction.
So find out what conviction means to you. Let me ask you that. Do that. Put it in drop it in the chat. Put it in the Discord. Prepare for that for next week. Have an explanation. Won't you guys join on in with us and feel free to chirp in. But next week we're going to be speaking about conviction. These are all the things. Every week we're speaking about things that, for us, make us get to that 100K club. What we're doing. All of these things are attributes. All of these things are different variables that we put in to help us get to this 100K club. It's $100,000 a month. Some people are making $200,000 a month. This is just a beginning. This is just a mindset to open yourself up. And we just want you to join us. We want to be able to provide these resources. This is just the beginning. This thing is going to get bigger and bigger. The numbers are going every week. So we again appreciate you guys for joining us. Next week, we're going to be speaking on conviction. Feel free to come back with us. Tell us what conviction means to you. Again, thank you guys so much. Man,
thank you
Palacios, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Eva. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Today, Javon, thank you for your story.
Yes,
man.
Thank you, Javon.
I'm looking forward to hearing more and more how it goes with you, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be checking back with you from time to time.
T-shirt ready, 100K Club, August.
100K Club,
Get it ready.
So we're ready, man. Guys, again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll be in the Discord. The Laboratory of Redemption, everyone. The 100K Club. Be looking out for more. We got more coming up on the horizon, guys. This is just the beginning. This is only the beginning. So you'll see.
Thank you, Eva.
We'll make believers out of you. So thank you so
much
again.
See you in the morning,
Thank you, Eva.
See you in the morning.
Everybody. We appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you so much.
All right.
That was awesome.
Great week. Yeah, she dropped some good stuff there.
Crushed it.
Man.
Hey, good job, Javon. He gone. Good job, Javon.
Yeah,
Javon,
great job, Javon. Thank you.
Yo, you still
there? How hard-headed you was.
I can't believe he started at 19. That's crazy.
And he wasn't listening.
That's amazing.
I can do my own thing. Little baby.
He is still. He only 22.
Little baby.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Javon. So Javon, you started off when you was 19, and you said you 22 now, right?
Yeah.
That's the same age.
Right, might say we the same age. So I just started. I just got done my first month. I just got back off my first deployment. So with doing it now, how much would you say you done learned from 19 to 22? You know what I'm saying?
Depending on what deployment it's like nature. Like I said, depending if you on Wind and Hail, it's like the same damage. It's like the same.
Right, it's that repetitiveness. Right. Like once you do that for a couple of months, it's the same thing. The same line items, just different calculations.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if Mama Philly do open
So yeah, Javon. Hey, Javon, that question for you, man. At what point did you finally say, "I'm going to just do it the right way and be done with it"? Like, when did you got in your own way? Because you was in your own way for like years, and it pissed me off.
So you're saying like he was a bit hard headed, like he was
No, super hard headed,
struggling
like
in the beginning.
you know,
All right.
like on $1,000,000. You know, your boy.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is it kind of similar to that guy? 'Cause you know what
Hard-headed,
I mean?
you know?
I don't know.
I'm like, dog.
Oh shit.
Was it? Was he
What happened,
hard-headed in the
Javon? When
beginning?
did you finally just say, I'm going to do this thing right? What happened, man? What was that moment for you?
When it kind of became second nature a little bit.
What do you mean second nature?
When you had a full understanding of like what you at least what your process had to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like what mainly, because you know what I'm saying, like Janae said earlier, like the main thing that like especially when you starting out, the main thing that's gonna make your life a lot harder starting out is just throwing yourself in that hole immediately. And it's just like now, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like I didn't have like the guidance when I first got there. You know, I had heard Demetrio telling me.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying? They were telling me the first few days, you know what I'm saying?
You had the guidance, boy.
I don't know.
We were telling you
I'm
about the whole.
I'm not gonna lie. No, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, this is my 4th deployment, and like every deployment I started this year, I started off very slow because I was afraid essentially to get in that hole. I was trying to, I've never been in the hole personally, and I know that would be very overwhelming for myself. So it was always important for me to start slow in my first few deployments. And luckily my managers, understood like, all right, it's okay for you to start with one claim a day or one inspection a day. You know what I mean? So it depends on your personal pace. But for me, like I adapt very quickly. So like when I'm doing one claim a day for those first 4 or 5 days, I'm looking at what my manager is looking for. I'm looking at how quickly I'm able to talk to these people and get through it. And then I'm quickly upping that till 2, 3 a day. See, I'm challenging myself. Can I get to 4 a day? When I got to Chicago, before I met Travis, I didn't even know how to do more than 4 in a day. And Travis broke it down in 1 minute on the phone. And that week I did 6 in a day. You know what I'm saying? So of course you want to focus on your personal pace, but you also want to challenge yourself. You definitely want to challenge yourself.
When you started, did you call the insured?
You said what?
Did I call the insured? Are you talking to me?
What question is that?
You show up.
Wait, say that again.
I'm talking about when you started to move up in your days. Were you did you call the insured to like reschedule the inspections, or were you just showing up?
Oh yeah. No. I was rescheduling. So of course, when you first get there, you got 30 claims, you scheduling everyone out. When your managers see you scheduling people out a month out, they're like, hey, we can't have you scheduled a month out. What's going on over there? But after my first week, I move everybody up. Those people that are all the way towards the end of the month, I'm moving them up. Hey, is it possible for me to come out to you this week? My schedule opened up. But in the beginning, definitely take it slow and then move everybody up as you can.
Ever since I've been back from that first deployment, it's just like I just can't wait to just learn. I can't wait to just utilize my new knowledge.
What you been doing to get better? What you been doing to get better?
No, I swear. No, since I've been back, I done did what? I done inspected my granny house, my mama house, my dad.
Right, practicing those things.
You been on that YouTube? You been on that YouTube?
Yeah, I've been on YouTube. Yeah, I've been on YouTube looking at Xactimate and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I think most importantly, you need to analyze what your managers was telling you where you went wrong. Hey, your task is not cleaned up. You need to focus on this. Hey, no offense to you, but you had 38 voicemails. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's something that you want to get on. Like little things that you can change. Like Meech told me one time, and it stuck with me. He said, the things that are in my control from staying off of their radar, I'm gonna do. Check my voicemails, move my task up, make sure I'm responding to emails, make sure I'm looking at, those important things, because those are the little things that separate you from the other person. Well, if everybody's on the same level, who they gonna cut?
Right.
You know what I mean? They're gonna cut the people that's not answering, not returning calls, not checking their tasks, not staying on top. Like those are the people that's gonna get cut.
Right. Yeah.
But all right, guys, I got some work to do. So
this work, man. Hey, thank y'all, man. I do appreciate y'all.
All right,
for showing
y'all.
up,
All right.
Hey, Major, hit that button, man. It's over. It's a wrap, baby. It's a wrap.
He still got the playoff music on and shit. Nigga.
Yeah, where the music
Thanks
at?
again, Javon.
Yeah.
Play us out, baby.
Y'all be good, man.
Wrap it up. Wrap
This
it up.
dance. This dance. Oh my God, this dance.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all again, man. All right, Big Mike.
Ain't on my dance. Holla, hit the button.
Shut up, bullshit. No, where the fingers at, dude?
Lord have mercy.
I'm about to put on some Funkadelic.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Ricky.
See,
Funk, baby.
they don't know nothing about that.
Funk. Come on now.
That's right.
Lord.
2 fingers. Come on now.
Lord, give him strength, please.
That dude is so whack, dude. That dude is whack as hell, dude.
Now he probably need Kurt or somebody.
Yeah, he needs some old, I don't know, 8-ball MJG. You know what I'm saying?
No, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, whatever it is, you don't need, whatever make you do them 2 fingers, it needs to stop. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying, man? We appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all join next week, man. All the people that still on here, gonna go down next week. And the week after that. The week after that, we might do some mitigation shit. It's gonna go down, man. It's just gonna get better and better, man. Y'all tell y'all people, y'all bring somebody, each one teach one.
Y'all quit talking,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Hang it up.
We reach back, man.
All right.
Hey, man, what's the button?